The smoke was black, the heat was unbearable, and the GPS showed a family trapped 3 miles into the fire zone. Police had evacuated. Fire crews had pulled back. Everyone said it was suicide to go in. But David Hasselhoff looked at KITT sitting in the parking lot and made a decision that would either save 4 lives or end his own. What happened in those flames? How did he find them? And why was KITT never the same after that day? This is the story of the drive through hell, and the price David Hasselhoff paid to be a hero. It started as a favor. A car show in Malibu. Richard Brennan, the collector who owned KITT, had asked David to bring the car to a charity event, Kids with Cancer, meeting their heroes. David had agreed. It was a good cause, and driving KITT to an event was easy. He'd done it before. The event was Saturday afternoon. David picked up KITT Friday evening, drove it to his house, planned to leave Saturday morning. But Friday night, everything changed. The Santa Ana winds kicked up, hot, dry, dangerous, and somewhere in the Malibu hills, a spark became a flame became a fire, and by midnight, the fire was a monster. David woke up Saturday morning to apocalyptic skies, orange, smoky. The air tasted like ash. He checked his phone. Evacuation orders. The charity event was cancelled. The entire area was being evacuated. David was supposed to return KITT to Richard's warehouse, but the warehouse was in the evacuation zone. Nobody was going anywhere near it. David called Richard. "The fire's blocking the route to your place. I'll keep KITT safe until this blows over. Appreciate it. Stay safe." David should have stayed home, should have waited, but he kept watching the news, kept seeing footage of the fire, and then he saw something that made his stomach drop. A reporter standing at an evacuation checkpoint. Behind her, a man screaming, crying, pleading, "My family's still in there. My wife and kids. Please, someone has to get them." The reporter tried to calm him. Emergency services were doing everything they could, but David could see the truth in the background. Fire trucks sitting idle, police blocking roads. Nobody was going in. The fire was too intense, too dangerous. Anyone who went in wouldn't come back. David watched the man collapse, watched him break, and felt something familiar. That feeling, that Michael Knight feeling, the one that said someone needs help and you're the only one who can provide it. He grabbed his keys, walked to the garage where KITT was parked, got in, started the engine, and pulled up the GPS. The man on TV had given an address, screamed it at the reporter. 1247 Canyon Ridge Road. David entered it. 3.2 miles into the fire zone. He called 911. "I'm going to attempt a rescue at 1247 Canyon Ridge Road. There's a family trapped there. Sir, that area is under mandatory evacuation. Emergency personnel cannot respond there. Do not attempt entry." Understood. He hung up, put KITT in gear, and drove toward the fire. The checkpoint was 2 miles from the fire line. Police had barriers up. David approached. A young officer held up his hand. "Roads closed, mandatory evacuation." "I know. I'm going in." "Sir, you can't. It's not safe. There's a family trapped. 1247 Canyon Ridge Road. We know about them. Fire rescue will get to them when it's safe." "When will that be?" The officer hesitated. "I don't know." "Then I'm going." "Sir, I can't let you do that." David looked at the officer, then at the smoke rising in the distance. "You can try to stop me, but that family doesn't have time for this conversation." The officer stared, saw something in David's face, and stepped aside. "Radio isn't working well in there. Cell service is dead. If you get in trouble, You're on your own. I know. David drove past the barrier, into the smoke. The temperature rose immediately. The air became thick, hard to breathe. He could see flames on both sides of the road. Trees burning, houses burning, everything burning. KITT's air conditioning struggled. The engine temperature gauge started climbing. The paint was already getting hit by ash and embers, but David kept driving, following the GPS. 3.2 miles, then 3, then 2.5. At 2 miles in, the road was blocked. A tree had fallen, burning, completely blocking the path. David stopped, got out. The heat was intense, unbearable. He looked at the tree. No way around it. The fire was too close on both sides. He got back in KITT, backed up 50 feet, and made a decision. He floored it. KITT surged forward, hit the burning tree at 40 miles per hour. The impact was massive. The tree splintered, rolled. KITT pushed through. The windshield cracked. The hood dented. But they got through. 1.8 miles to go. The smoke was so thick David could barely see. He drove by GPS alone, trusting the system, trusting the road was still there. At one point flames jumped across the road ahead. David didn't slow down, just drove through, felt the heat, heard the paint bubbling, kept going. 1.2 miles. The engine temperature was redlining. KITT was overheating. David could smell something burning. Not just outside. Inside, the car itself was suffering. But he couldn't stop. Not now. 0.8 miles. He saw the house. 1247 Canyon Ridge Road. Still standing. Surrounded by fire on 3 sides. But standing. David pulled into the driveway. Got out. Ran to the door. Pounded. Hello, fire department. Anyone inside? No answer. He tried the door. Locked. He kicked it. Once, twice. The door splintered. He went inside. Smoke everywhere. Hello, is anyone here? A voice. Faint. Help. We're trapped. David followed the voice. Found them in a back bedroom. A woman. 2 kids, maybe 7 and 9, and a teenage girl, all huddled in the corner. The woman looked at David, shock on her face. We need to go. Now. The hallway's on fire. We can't get out. David looked. She was right. Flames had started in the front of the house. The path they'd come in was burning. Back door. There isn't one. Just windows. David looked at the window. Bars on it. Old house. Security bars. No way out. Stand back. David grabbed a chair, smashed the window, then attacked the bars. They were screwed into the frame. Old screws. Rusted. He pulled. Twisted. One came loose. Then another. The kids were crying. The woman was praying. David kept working. Finally the bars came free. Go. Now. The teenage girl went first. Then the 2 younger kids. Then the mother. David followed. They were in the backyard. But the backyard was surrounded by flames. The only exit was through the front, where KITT was parked. Stay close to me. Run for the car. They ran. Through smoke. Past flames. The youngest kid tripped. David scooped him up. Kept running. They reached KITT. David threw open the door. Get in. All of you. They piled in. The woman in front. Kids in back. Tight fit. David got in the driver's seat. Started the engine. It coughed. Sputtered. The temperature gauge was maxed out. KITT was dying. Come on. Not now. Not here. The engine caught. David backed out, turned around, and drove back toward the road. back through the flames, back through the smoke, back towards safety. But the road they'd come in on was worse now. Fire on both sides, flames crossing the road. David couldn't see more than 10 feet ahead. He just drove, fast as he could. KITT was shaking. The engine was screaming, but they kept moving. The woman was praying out loud. The kids were crying, and David was focused on one thing: getting them out. That's it. Just get them out. They hit something. A piece of debris. The car lurched. One of the tires blew. KITT pulled hard to the left. David fought the wheel, kept it straight, kept moving. You could drive on 3 tires. Just had to keep moving. 0.5 miles to the checkpoint. The engine temperature warning light was flashing. The dashboard was showing multiple system failures. But KITT kept going. Like it knew, like it understood. 4 more lives depended on it. Finishing this drive. The smoke started to thin. David could see better. Could see the checkpoint ahead. Police, fire trucks, paramedics, safety. He pushed KITT harder. The engine made a sound like it was tearing itself apart, but it gave everything it had. They crossed the barrier. David pulled to a stop. Emergency personnel swarmed, opened the doors, got the family out. Paramedics checking them, wrapping them in blankets, getting them oxygen. David got out, looked at KITT. The paint was scorched black in places. The windshield was cracked and covered in ash. The hood was dented. One tire was completely gone, and smoke was pouring from under the hood. Not wildfire smoke, engine smoke. KITT was cooking itself from the inside out. David popped the hood. The engine was destroyed. Melted hoses, warped metal, oil everywhere. KITT had given everything, and it wasn't enough. The car was done, finished, would never run again. The woman David had rescued approached, tears streaming down her face. "You saved us. You came when nobody else would. How can I ever thank you? Just take care of your kids. That's enough. But your car, it's ruined. Because of us." David looked at KITT, at the destroyed engine, at the scorched paint, at the car that had been worth hundreds of thousands of dollars, and was now worth scrap metal. And he realized something. He didn't care. Not even a little bit. It's just a car. You're alive. Your kids are alive. That's what matters. But it wasn't just a car. It was KITT. It was a piece of history, a cultural icon, and David had destroyed it, driven it through a wildfire, pushed it beyond its limits, killed it. Richard Brennan arrived an hour later, saw KITT, saw the damage, walked around the car in silence. David braced himself. This was a 6-figure car, and David had reduced it to wreckage. "Richard, I'm sorry. I'll pay for everything. I'll KITT." Richard held up his hand. "You saved 4 people. Yeah, but your car is insured and replaceable. Those people aren't." Richard looked at the destroyed KITT, then at David. "You know what this car represented? What Michael Knight represented? Yeah. Then you know you did exactly what you were supposed to do. You saw people in trouble, and you helped. You used what you had to make a difference. That's the whole point. That's what KITT was always about. Not being a museum piece, being a tool, and today you used it the right way." David felt emotion crack through. It'll never run again. No. But it went out doing what it was meant to do. That's better than sitting in a warehouse forever. That's a better ending. The fire burned for 3 more days, destroyed over 300 homes. But the family at 1247 Canyon Ridge Road survived. Because one man saw the news, made a decision, and drove a TV show prop car through hell to bring them out. The story made national news. David Hasselhoff rescues family with KITT. The coverage was massive. Some called him a hero. Some called him reckless. Some said he got lucky. But David didn't care about any of that. Because he knew the truth. He'd done what Michael Knight would have done. Not for cameras. Not for content. Because someone needed help and he was the one who could provide it. KITT was never repaired. The damage was too extensive. The car that had driven through a wildfire was retired. Richard donated what was left to a museum. They display it with a plaque that tells the story. The real hero car. The day KITT saved a family. David visits sometimes. Looks at the scorched paint. The melted dashboard. The destroyed engine. And feels pride. Not because he was on TV. Not because he was famous. But because when it mattered, when lives were on the line, he didn't hesitate. He went. And he brought them home. The mother sends David a card every year on the anniversary, with photos of her kids, growing up, living lives they wouldn't have had. She always writes the same thing. Thank you for being the hero my kids needed. Thank you for showing them that people will show up, that someone will come. David keeps those cards, all of them, because that's what it was about. Not the car, not the fame, not the legacy, just showing up when someone needs you, just doing what you can with what you have, just being willing to drive through fire, if that's what it takes. KITT was never the same after that day, but neither was David Hasselhoff, because he finally understood what he'd been searching for all along. Not to own his past, not to recapture glory, but to live up to it, to be worthy of the symbol, to show up when it's hard, to help when it's dangerous, to do what Michael Knight would do. The car is gone, destroyed, sacrificed, but what it represented lives on. Every time someone stops to help, every time someone makes the hard choice, every time someone drives toward danger instead of away from it. That's KITT. That's Michael Knight. That's the legacy. David Hasselhoff drove through a wildfire to save a trapped family. The car was never the same, but the 4 lives he saved, they're everything. And that's worth more than any car ever could be.